Thank you guys for joining me, and I'm back here with an article that basically states this may be satire. But when I took a look at it, it's not satire because this restaurant is a very disgusting restaurant. And basically, the person who made the petition, which I'll get more into the article, he is basically saying because white people don't have anything to whine about or complain about. Basically, everybody else needs to shut the hell up. And they really want to be victimized. And they want to know how it feels to be victimized. There's premium on victimization for them. But the article says someone wants Cracker Barrel to change its name because he finds it offensive. Someone who doesn't quite understand racial inequality has launched a petition to convince roadside comfort food chain and vendor of Duck Dynasty merchandise, Cracker Barrel, to change its name. According to the Change.org petition started by Ryan Koch from Iowa, he finds the use of cracker to be an offensive slur. Urban Dictionary defines the term as slang word used to refer to those of European ancestry. The word is thought to have either derived from the sound of a whip being cracked by a slave master, which I've never heard in my life, or because crackers are generally white in color. It is typically used to describe someone as white. White is usually typically used to describe white. Anyone who is European is not white. They are pink, red, or pale. And crackers are not white. Koch wants all European Americans to start protesting Cracker Barrel because it mocks their long and proud heritage. What long and proud heritage? Okay, in Europe, they were killing each other. In Scotland, they were killing each other. In Germany, they were killing each other. They came to America and killed the indigenous people. They went on down south and killed the indigenous people. They went to Australia and killed the indigenous people. They went into Africa and killed the indigenous people and enslaved them. Nice heritage. Moving along, a heritage that may include the ownership of slaves. Koch further takes issue with the chain's logo, which features a man sitting on a chair next to a barrel. He alleges it stereotypes European Americans as people who sit on chairs and lean against what appears to be a bourbon barrel, claiming we are a bunch of alcoholics. Sure. Okay, first of all, what does leaning on a bourbon barrel have to do with being an alcoholic? That's so stupid, but the whole European American sitting on chairs, okay, yeah, and what's wrong with that? I mean, basically you sit on your ass while everybody else do the work. Perhaps his greatest, most intelligent argument is that everyone knows crackers don't come in a barrel, they come in bags and boxes. Koch suggests that the restaurant change its name to Caucasian Barrel because white people should have something to be offended by too. Insert eye roll. Now that right there, this is what I noticed about the whole argument, is because he knows they have nothing to be offended about. They have not been discriminated against. They have not experienced victimhood. They want to. I think they would pay top dollar to experience it. But then on the flip side, that statement can be viewed as, everyone is offended by everything and everybody needs to shut up. Everybody is offended because of the disgusting stuff that white supremacists have done and continue to do. Somehow the petition actually has signatures, 1,991 so far. though based on how ridiculous it is, this could all be one big joke. And they do. They think, discrimination and, subjugation, it's a joke. Victimization, you see 1,991 people so far since this article feel like a victim. And this was back in July 10, 2015. And then when I last looked, the article was up to 15,000 people who are dying to experience victimhood, which I don't have an issue with the name being changed. It should be changed. And maybe black people would give it the side eye and not go in there, because I honestly thought this restaurant was closed. I didn't know there were still Cracker Barrels around. And I know that black people are still going in there, eating in that disgusting ass restaurant. The name Cracker Barrel should be changed to Caucasian Barrel, because it would be perfect, knowing the history of this chain and the sick shit that they've done. I did go and search and find this article. It's basically restaurant chain admits racism, and this is Cracker Barrel. And this was back in September 9th, 2004. It says, on this date in 2004, the Cracker Barrel restaurant chain agreed to a $8.7 million settlement to resolve all lawsuits brought or supported by the NAACP. Again, the NAACP is infiltrated. I don't like it. I don't know why people keep going there thinking they're going to get help, because even looking at that dollar amount, $8.7 million, is not a lot, depending on how many lawsuits were brought and how many people are a part of it. Every person who brought a lawsuit should have at least gotten $2 to $5 million. And I know I know there were a lot of people who brought lawsuits, and to split that money up is nothing, it's pennies. But reading on, the civil rights organization accused the restaurant chain of segregating blacks into the smoking section and denying them service. First of all, how can you be segregated in a restaurant that you walked into? That's one thing I would like to know. And if I'm not smoking and you're going to push me into the smoking section and tell me I can't go anywhere, I'm going to take my happy ass out of there and go somewhere else. If you're going to deny me service and I'm hungry and I see that you're a racist piece of shit, again, I'm going to take my happy ass out of there. You're not getting any of my money. This is the same thing over again, like in the civil rights movement. We want to be integrated and close to them. We want them to treat us like human beings, and we are pushing ourselves onto them when they keep telling us they don't want anything to do with us. They don't want to serve us. They don't want us around. They want our money, but they are disgusted to have to do something to earn that money. So we need to start taking our money where it's appreciated and more to black businesses. It says this matter has been resolved to everyone's satisfaction and the parties are now ready to move forward, said Donald Turner, the chain's president and COO. David Stanford, a lawyer for the plaintiffs, said Cracker Barrel is pleased with the settlement, and the settlement represents good closure for a bad period. At least 42 plaintiffs, including the NAACP, accused the Lebanon, Tennessee-based company of discrimination in federal lawsuits filed in Georgia. Now, I know Cracker Barrel is very pleased with $8.7 million to give and divide amongst 42 people. Now, when doing the math, dividing $8.7 million is $200,000 per person. I'm not saying that's not a significant amount of money, but how much did the plaintiffs get? How much went to the lawyers? Or even if they got all of it, I think that is horribly low for what they went through. It's not sufficient. And it's disgusting. That number should have been times 10 or times 20. But black customers in 16 states also said they were subjected to racial slurs and served food taken from the trash, while Cracker Barrel management ignored or condoned such actions. The announcement comes 4 months after the company settles a Justice Department lawsuit accusing Cracker Barrel of similar discrimination claims at dozens of restaurants, mainly in the South. That settlement found that black customers at many of the country store themed restaurants were seated in areas segregated from whites, frequently received inferior service, and often were made to wait longer for tables. Blacks who complained about poor service also were treated less favorably than whites. Cracker Barrel operates over 500 restaurants in 41 states. Now, going back to they were called racial slurs. You walked your black ass into a restaurant and they called you a racist name, but you still sat there. You still sat there. I know some of them did. I'll say maybe some of them walked out, but I believe a lot of them stayed there even though they were called that name. Just to show, they're better than that. They're above all that. I would have tore that damn restaurant up. And then furthermore, they serve them food taken from the trash. Someone had to see this. This is so nasty and disgusting. You have to be lower than an animal. An animal would not treat their own like this. And that's because we are not them. We are not the same. They don't view us as their own. I don't even view them as human. They're creatures. White supremacists are creatures. And you're exposing someone. They could get sick, but you take food from the trash, you nasty son of a bitches. That is so disgusting. I mean, probably even with babies, that's my main concern. Babies? No telling what else. They probably were spitting in that food. They probably were touching their private areas and making the food. No telling what they put in the food. I mean, some of these restaurants are so nasty and dirty. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't put a bug in the food, if they didn't put rat dropping. It could be anything. That is so nasty. And basically, this 8.7 million doesn't even break the surface of what should have been given to these people. And this is happening down south. Nasty ass hicks. Nasty. What should have happened was they should have got way more money. This should have been $100 million lawsuit, if not more. On top of that, then they should have went and burnt every damn Cracker Barrel down to the ground. Or took every single store from these nasty ass people and changed the name, changed everything. And the most disgusting thing is that you sat there in that restaurant. You walked into this nasty ass, disgusting, racist ass, filthy piece of shit restaurant, and you sat there and you took it. But people like to say, oh, if I was back in slavery, I would have ran away. I wouldn't have took it. But you go, you walk your supposedly free, happy ass into a racist ass restaurant. They're calling you names. They're giving you bad service. They're serving you food out of the trash. No telling what they're putting in it or if they wash their nasty ass, creature ass hands. And then you're going to sit there and you're going to take it because you want some type of acceptance. Furthermore, after everything that was done, then you're crying about being segregated off from them. I can understand not wanting to be in the smoking section and you're not a smoker. It's disgusting. I'm not a smoker, so I wouldn't want to be there. But to complain about being segregated from them. I don't know what kind of damn pixie dust these people have over black people or sprinkle on around a group of black people that they want to be around them even when they're treated like shit. And the most disgusting thing about this whole thing is I am willing to bet $1 million. I can't do the Donald Trump voice, but $1 million that a bunch of black people are still walking their happy ass into this restaurant even after this. They're still operating. They're still getting black dollars. The only thing that I'm really mad about these disgusting creatures doing is giving $8.7 million, which doesn't break the surface of what should have been given. But what's more disgusting than all of it is that black people are still supporting this. They are. We're the problem. We have been trying to push ourselves on them since the chains came off. And they keep telling us they don't want anything to do with us. They're not going to treat us like human beings. They can't. They're creatures. They're not going to pay for what they did because they owe. They're not going to do anything. They're not going to do right by us. But we still want to laugh and be friends and eat with them and integrate. We just keep pushing ourselves into everything in the world. The Most High keeps pushing the nature of these creatures out to push us away, and it seems the worse that they get, the more that we get closer to them or try and get closer to them. I mean, everything, like I said, everything is trying to tell us to separate, get away from, but we just don't want to listen. We're so damn stubborn and hard-headed, and we're gonna make these people accept us and love us. Or, I wouldn't be shocked if Black people wouldn't go back to slavery for some type of closeness or acceptance. But I'll leave the articles in the description box below. Tell me what you think. Drop a comment. I'll see you next time.